Greetings and salutations, Fantasy League of Ordinary Gentlemen. It is I, your Commissioner, Joe Johnson, coming to you for a Week 2 recap. It might as well be an injury report. It was absolute destruction on the football fields, which means chaos on the fantasy rosters. We're going to break all of it down in this Week 2 recap, all the matches, the scores, who's sitting pretty and who's not. Before we do, take a moment, like and subscribe. Get us out there. We hope that you're enjoying the show. I know it's just a one-man show. It's just your man talking into the camera. Sometimes it's a little kind of like that scene where Jeff Goldblum's talking to himself in a room by himself. But hey, that's all right, because boy, do I have one hell of a sexy voice. Turn the volume up. Kick the wife and kids out of the room for the next hour. We're going to break down everything in the Fantasy League of Ordinary Gentlemen. Let the voice of Joe Johnson reverberate throughout the building, throughout the vehicle, and let's break it down. We're going to start with game one. It was an absolute blowout. We thought that was the case. It was absolute destruction, and it featured rookie Jonathan Andrews taking on longtime veteran Forrest, Heart of the Cards Dozier, and no heart to be found. And I would like to say, Forrest, if you'd like to know why your team is doing so poor, and how Jonathan is scoring 150 points or more in 2 weeks, go print off a copy of your draft recap. Just you, not anybody else's team, just you. Okay. Pick your team, pick rounds, no big deal. Just print it off. Walk into the bathroom. Okay. Stare at the mirror and hold that up and look at it and look at yourself, because a third of Jonathan's team should be on your team. If you'd like to know, if anyone is wondering, I was kind of wondering. I already knew the answer, but for the sake of recording and saying it out loud, this is what happens when you don't draft right. Okay, if you're wondering why the people at the ends of the draft, if you will, the tips, probably the first three and the last three, why those teams seem to be so good is because Forrest drafted so bad. So those teams all have players that should technically be on Forrest's team, like Shaquan Barkley, and such. So, not to take anything away from you, Mr. Andrews, it's a fantastic roster you've put together right now. You're absolutely destroying everything in your wake. You have more, I guarantee you, you have more points after this week than people will have after playing week 3. I guarantee it. Forrest, you may be one of them. I hate to say that. I hope not. But let's go ahead and break down this week 2 matchup as Kyler Murray absolutely goes off. What a bounce back performance. 266 yards, 3 touchdowns, 28 points. He's your highest scoring player. Almost everyone on your team, Jonathan, scored double digits except for your flex, who only scored 3, and your kicker, who almost scored double digits, 9 points. But it's an absolute showing. Not a lot, to really go over, other than you escape the devastation. No injuries on your starting roster. Breece Hall, 24. James Conner, 19. Devontae Adams is doing things for you that he wasn't doing for Jordan last year. I hate to it's a crazy how is Las Vegas 2-0? It blows my mind. Rashee Rice picked up right where he left off from last year. I believe I even passed on Rashee Rice. Pretty sure I did. I'm not necessarily unhappy with that. But maybe I shouldn't have, is kind of what I was thinking. Brock Bowers, who you sniped for me, and this is why. Look at the tight end comparison. We'll talk about it when we cover your team here in a moment for us, but this is why you do not draft a tight end inside your top 5 picks, because even this isn't even the best example. The best example is Jack Littleraven, who with seconds, maybe minutes, but it had happened so fast. I know people who didn't get Evan Ingram off their roster, and it screwed them. And Jack goes, and we'll talk about it here in a minute, goes and makes a last-minute waiver wire pickup and scores more points than Travis Kelce. So, this is why we don't spend valuable draft picks on tight ends. Tyler Lockett, we said only 3. The Jets defense 12. Cameron Dicker 9. It's a shellacking. It's another great day. Jonathan, you're trolling. Like I said, Forrest, it's going to be a long year, bud. Aaron Rodgers, 15 points. I think you're happy with that, given how that offense is playing. I mean, let's just face it. The Jets don't look good. It's Breece Hall. And I think even as if I'm a Garrett Wilson owner, I'm starting to get a little worried. Aaron Jones, we knew it was going to be a tough day. San Francisco has top-notch defense. Tajay Spears gets injured, and I talked about this last week. Forrest, injuries. It doesn't matter who you are. You're gonna have injuries. And I said Deebo Samuel was your most important pick next to Travis Kelce, and both of them had to pay off, but it's a matter of time before either one of them get hurt, and boom, here we go. It took 2 weeks, and now you will be without Deebo Samuel. At least he got you 18 points before he leaves this game. Wouldn't have made a difference. Take Dell, 2 points, and you're worried, not because of injury, but because of production. I think this will play out. I think Take Dell will be a fine wide receiver 2. But it's clearly, I think, just going to take a little time. I'm sitting. I'm not panicking yet. Travis Kelce, though, oh boy, does he look like a night and day player. And I am worried. I think that this Kansas City Chiefs offense looks wonky. It has been since Tariq left. There's no one really to run the ball. I mean, we saw what we'll talk about, Pacheco and look who's coming back and all that. And we'll talk about it in week 3. But, look, man, this is why, you spent a second round draft pick on Travis Kelce, and he got you less than 2 points. This should be a 15, 20 point play, and it's killing you. Xavier Worthy, 4 points, and this is one of the things when you draft for multiple players from the same team. You can talk about Brock Hudgens about that, and we also talk about how if you're defense is your high-scoring player, it's probably a bad week. It was a bad week. 11 points here. Jake Elliott, 7. 74 points. It ain't going to cut it for us on most weeks. And like I said, brother, I love you. I hate to see this, especially after the year you had last after the year you just had, excuse me. But if there's a person in here who I would believe this team can come alive for us, brother, it's you. We talked about it. You have earned your nickname, sir, and I expect that the Grand Wizard will put together something and make this show what it is. So better luck to you, sir, in week 3. And Jonathan, there needs nothing to be said. You're rolling, brother, and I'm sure you're going to keep that going in week 3 as well. Game 2 featured your commissioner, yours truly, moi, taking on sophomore Brennan Scala, and silence of the Lamb indeed shuts me down. And it was much closer than the score would actually show, 112 to 127. But it was real close going into Monday night. I was within 19 points, and Devonta Smith was happening, and Drake London was as bad as it was, and almost as bad as it was in week 1. And it's like in the fourth quarter, the dude's got 4.5 points. I'm getting within 4 points, and the lead. Devonta Smith drops a touchdown. He catches it. He actually caught the ball, and it was punched out of his hands. And that was the lead. I would have taken the lead by 3 points, but then it wouldn't have mattered if, assuming he even caught that touchdown. I mean, maybe, but then Drake London catches the game-winning touchdown, and it's over. That was it. That was all she wrote. So you scored a bunch of touchdowns, Brennan, and like I said, last week when we did your recap, I mean, completely different team this year compared to last year. You're dangerous, son. And, my team put up the yards. It's just I had no touchdowns. We'll start here. Dak throws 2 interceptions. I mean, how crazy is this game? Is New Orleans for real? I did not think New Orleans would be this good. I mean, especially with Derek Carr, and is their defense? I mean, who anticipated this level of defense? This level of defensive play? I mean, New Orleans looks like a playoff-ready team. What are they putting in the water in Louisiana is what I'm asking myself. Drinking that Gator water. I don't know. But they absolutely destroy the Cowboys here. Jonathan Taylor had all the yards. It was all there. But the head coach, the name escapes me at the moment, pulls him out of the game. Just came out and said, well, it was a willing decision. It was like, dude, come on. Are you kidding me? For almost the whole fourth quarter. Usage and touchdown game script hurts me here. Javonte Williams I'll take the double-digit points. I'm happy. That's what RB2 needs to do. I need 10 points from that guy because everything else has got to come through my wide receivers. And there is the rookie. I told you I don't miss on my rookies. And the dude should have had, I could have won this game. Easily, Marvin Harrison should have had 2 more touchdowns on top of the 2 he had. Dude easily should have had 4 touchdowns. Walks away with 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, Miami gets wadded up against Buffalo, and then when Tua goes out, it was all bad. So nothing was happening in this game. It was even worse for Tariq. The Muth, respectable day. Anytime if my tight end gets over 5 points, I didn't waste a pick on him. I picked up Muth in like the 14th, 13th round. If he gets more than 5 points, I'm having a good day. Devonta Smith, we already talked about, had a great day. Could have had I'm missing 3 touchdowns. Really, I'm missing 4 touchdowns if you think about Dak. Okay. But, Miami's defense gets absolutely slaughtered. Moody does not have a 26-point day. So it's 100. Still had the volume, had the usage for most of my players. 112 points. It's a win any other day. I like the production. I don't like the outcome. But on the other hand, you sure do. And let's talk. Lamar Jackson, not a much better game. 247 yards, actually less than Dak, but throws 1 less interception. Does have the touchdown there. Probably has a couple more yards on the ground as well. This is the win. Here is your winning play. James Cook making plays that should be made by Josh Allen, and Jordan can tell you about a frustrating Josh Allen day, but we're talking like runs that Josh Allen would normally make, being ran by James Cook here. Only 78 yards, but has 3 touchdowns, and that is giving you the win in this game. Ramondre Stevenson looks great. CeeDee Lamb, nice day. I've talked about it in other matchups. You hate when your quarterback is throwing to your opponent. Usually that goes better for the wide receiver, especially in PPR leagues. Drake London, not a great day until the very end of the game. Nothing was happening for him into the fourth quarter, and then he finds that touchdown to not only win it, but for the Falcons, but win it for you, or at least secure the win. Parkinson, there you go. Waiver pickup. Pickens, not a great day, 4 points. San Francisco's defense, not a great day themselves. Aubrey, man, you can talk about how many leagues is Brandon Aubrey going to win for fantasy players this year? The dude is the best kicker in decades. I think he makes Justin Tucker look like a joke. I think Justin Tucker's a fantastic kicker. I think that's the whole point is it's saying something. Brandon Aubrey is the best kicker since that dude who got his leg blown off in Vietnam, and he set the record all the way back in like the fucking 70s. That's legit. So, nevertheless, back to the fantasy league here. Brennan, congratulations, 2-0. Way to say no to 2023 and yes to 2024. Commission starting slow. Not happy. 0-2. I have the most points outside of Forrest, but Forrest almost doesn't count. It's not hard to put a bunch of points up against Forest. But I have the second most points scored against me, almost 300 points through 2 games. It's ridiculous. And I'm averaging 107 points a game. So I'm just getting absolutely slaughtered on my points against. So nevertheless, it's a good win, Brennan. Way to start the year. Looking to keep it going in week 2. I'm going to look to bounce back in week 3. Game 3, week 2 featured another blowout, and this one we referenced earlier how injuries are going to affect the scores of these games, and it's not good. It's not good, Jordan. Cooper Kupp, gone, ankle rolled up. Isaiah Pacheco, IR, done. They're both on IR, but those are 6-week long injuries, man. Yeah, just I mean, most of us have played football. Maybe some of us haven't. I think everyone in here has played some kind of sport. So we all know what happens when you sprain or break your ankle or tear something, and what's the classic 4 to 6 weeks. And I think that with some people that we're going to talk about, those injuries are going to be even longer. But like I said, Pacheco might miss like 2 months, but Cooper Kupp probably like 6 weeks. Nevertheless, your age and all that come into play there. Cooper Kupp's a tough guy. Oh man, I know I say it. I know I say nevertheless a lot. Leave me alone. Leave it. It's what I do. It's in the vocab. It's in the mind. Nevertheless, Josh Allen, 9 points. It's not good. We just talked about it with James Cook. I mean, Buffalo was destroying Miami. There was no need for him to throw the ball. There was no need to get this into the air. The stack with Kincaid, obviously not a big factor in this game. And, James Cook, it was James Cook's show against Miami there. Devin Singletary and Chuba Hubbard, between the two of them, score about 25 points, but it's just not enough compared to what Austin's onslaught is bringing to the table right now. Cooper Kupp, 7 points before he's out. Christian Kirk is in a 14-man league. I'm telling you right now, in a deep league, I'm dropping Christian Kirk, and that's just the sad truth, Jordan. I have no faith in the man. Dalton Kincaid, game script, man. I'm not panicking, but you do see, this just references why I'm not spending top 5, round picks on tight ends. Now, Austin, I want to say no, and you correct me, but I don't think you picked George. Maybe you did pick George Kittle with a top 5 pick, but I bet you didn't. I bet, because I know he was low enough that you could get away with drafting him in the 6th or 7th round, even in a deep league, and that's where I bet you picked him up, and maybe even later. Okay, we can go back and look, but I just want to say I think is another good example, because I know where Jordan took Dalton Kincaid. Okay, it was the 5th round. Anyway, Isaiah Pacheco, at least he gets you the 16 points, but he's done. Chargers defense, great stream play there, 11 points. And Boswell, the kicker, 9 points. It's 87 is just not enough, and most weeks it's not going to be enough to get you a win here in Fantasy Gents. Austin, coming back to show us what you've got, for a second year in a row, putting a definition into defending champion. Okay, and CJ Stroud, it really is a subpar day. It's only 14 points, but then Saquon, who should have been Forrest's pick, should have been I think at this point in time, Saquon Barkley is a top 10 pick. He's maybe even a top 8 pick. Running back wise, he might be a top 5 pick. I think a lot of people forget how good he was at Penn, and then New York's so bad, and there may be arguments that his injuries are due to just the volume, but then there's no protection in New York, whereas you're now behind the best offensive line in football, and look what a Class A running back can do behind a Class A line, and that is just death and destruction, and it translates into fantasy points. Jareem Gibbs, got it that time. No touchdown, still gets 17 points, and the big thing I think to note here was the volume was, I mean, it's becoming the Jareem Gibbs show. I'm going to start messing it up if I keep saying his name like that. Okay, I'm just saying. Brian Thomas looked, great. I love the play, and I think he could end up being I think he may be the number one wide receiver there in Jacksonville. Wan'Dale Robinson, 9, where really the majority of your points, your highest scoring player, obviously George Kittle, 20 points. Stephon Diggs, the stack, only getting 20 points, not really what you want to see, not what we saw last week. 7 points there. Jacksonville, 6 points, and Santos, the kicker, 11. 116, that's the important thing. We talk about it. I think that's what we need to do. I think we're still hovering at that 110. If you want to guarantee yourself a win, and look at my game. I scored over 110 points and I still lost. Granted, my opponent scored well over that, but I think we're still at that line. I know we're down 2 players, but just the depth of our overall rosters and the quality of all the teams, even minus maybe just one person. I hate singling him out. It's Forrest. Okay, we all know it's Forrest. With that exception, I think everybody's really close now. Obviously, the injuries are going to start separating people now, but I think the point is the reason for saying all that is I still think if you get that 110, if we can hit that number, you're probably going to win your game, and that proves to be the case here. So, Austin, just a powerful week 2 and looking to keep your win streak going. And Jordan, you're hurting. Time to hit the waiver wire. If there's anybody I trust, you are the waiver master. I am sure these goals will be filled one way or another. Heyo. And, good luck. I mean, it's going to be a rough couple weeks. I don't have to tell you that. Going to have to fight some adversity, find some diamonds in the rough where we can, and hopefully try and find some wins here while you're dealing with these multiple injuries. Definitely wanted to, start that off going into week 3. Game number 4 of week 2 featured 2 veterans, cousin of the commissioner, Josh Johnson, taking on Derek Ash. And Derek always had the lead on this. Josh, you were fighting right. You get close, but it just wasn't enough. Just not enough to catch up and make you a big trade. One of the big things, we hadn't talked about it yet, but we had our first trade of the season. I actually like it. I think you save your season, Josh, and don't be dispirited, okay? Trading Joe Burrow and Alvin Kamara to Aaron Grogg for Jared Goff, Jordan Mason, your handcuff, and David Montgomery. I think it's a great trade. I think it's very even. Normally, I hate, and I hate saying what I'm about to say. We are all familiar with Aaron Grogg and his trade rape cart, and you didn't fall into that, Josh. I think this is a very intelligent trade for both managers, and I think this saves your season, Josh, because you were in big, big trouble with the loss of CMC, Puka Nacua, and it's looking like Puka's going to miss extended time. What we're reading on CMC, he's going to miss more than just the 4 weeks, and it could be well into 8 weeks. And with CMC, it's one of the reasons why it's why I wouldn't pick him last year. I had every chance to draft CMC last year, and I wasn't going to do it because of what you're dealing with right now. And of course, this year everybody was into him. I guarantee you, if CMC made it to me, I would have drafted him, and I would have been in the spot that you're in now, or we're in, if you will. But you found a way out of it. Smart trading. Smart trading. We'll go into it. It just didn't pay off this week. And that's the thing before I go into this game and caveat. I know you had voiced some frustration with, oh, this is why you hate trades. And it's like, look, two things. One, you had no idea that Alvin Kamara was going to score 44 points, 3 touchdowns, blah, blah. I mean, against Dallas's defense, come on. We all thought Dallas was going to destroy them, okay? And rightly, if maybe it was the 1 out of 10 games, because 9 times out of 10, that wouldn't have gone that way, okay? Look at Joe Burrow didn't have a great day, okay? So it was just the way the cards went. Number 2, I did the math. This game would have been closer, but you would not have won this game even had you had Alvin Kamara. So, assuming that everything played out the same, you weren't going to win this game even had Alvin Kamara scored the 44 points. So, you still would have lost. I think you made the right decision. And again, I'm playing 2 rounds ahead. Just because I'm playing John this week, I'm playing Aaron, who's 2 weeks ahead of me. All right? It's chess in fantasy. Yes, I'm focusing on this week. How can I win this week? Sure. At the same time, it's chess. What do I need to do in 2 rounds from now to make sure that I have an advantage and you save your week? So enough about that. Jared Goff, 8 points. It's a bad day. Tampa Bay's for real. I think they are here to play. They look playoff ready. And, it just was a bad day. It was a bad day at the office, okay? J.K. Dobbins, fantastic. I told you, the play against Carolina. And here's the thing that blows my mind. It is a split number of touches in L.A. I meant the Chargers, and it's just J.K. Dobbins is the one who's making the most of the opportunities. So I don't think that Gus is bad, but dude, J.K. Dobbins is the dude you want right now. Jordan Mason does what he needs to do. 17.4 points, 100 yards, touchdown. Love it. What you needed, what you've been missing, the hole in the team. Amari Cooper is benchable and down. You're just waiting for Jameis. And until Jameis Winston becomes a quarterback, I'm not starting Amari Cooper. It's bad. Deshaun Watson is hot garbage, and I have no want of anything in Cleveland right now. Denard Robinson does get the 7 points there, but now maybe with Puka moving forward, with no Puka, no Cooper Kupp, this is different. But in LA, you've got issues in LA, guys, and I don't know if either one of these receivers are going to have the same levels of play that you have with Cooper. We're talking about completely different level of athlete when we're talking about Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and Denard Robinson and Tyler Johnson. Cade Otton goes negative. Not good. David Montgomery does exactly with way. Now the touches were way in Gibbs' favor here, and still walks away with 17 points. You needed that. It's again saving your season, even though you take the loss here. Baltimore defense 9, Fairbairn 20. Josh, brother, you love the outcome 102. I'm okay. I score over 100 points. You come 8 points in when we talked about that 110 goal, and you just fall short a little bit. You see, though, if you pass that, Derek, you got the win. It's a big win, great win. Not from Anthony Richardson, 3 interceptions. Wolf, only 204 yards. New passing was not going to be the thing here. And this offense in Indianapolis, a little wonky, but there's a lot of offenses that are wonky right now, but still producing, and it was, you saw Jonathan Taylor does get all the 100 yards there on the ground. Derrick Henry gets into the end zone here, and Las Vegas playing tough. I tell you what, how do they beat the Ravens? My goodness. And don't you know the Ravens are going to be just playing angry evil anger in week 3. I can't wait to discuss those matchups there. Brian Robinson has a respectable day, 133 yards on the ground, 14 in fantasy. Amon St. Brown, that's what you were missing from last week, and what did we talk about with my game? You hate when you're or you, in this case, you love it, Derek, but Josh, you hate when your quarterback is throwing to the other team's wide receiver. That was the case here. 22 points. Malik Neighbors, 28 points, 10 receptions, 127 yards, and 10 touchdowns. And what a price to pay. I mean, nothing compared to other wide receivers that are putting up less numbers. I mean, what a buy for Malik Neighbors, Derek. Kyle Pitts, 5 points, whatever, man. I'll take it. McMillan, what's his name? Juwan McMillan, I think. I can't remember. Oh, man, it's so bad. I hate that I'm so bad with the names. 3 points. It's not what you know. 1 reception. I mean, it was a throw-in flex play to fill a hole. I get it, but it just wasn't enough. In the sense of that's somebody that I feel comfortable starting. You'll definitely be looking to fix that flex play. Detroit, the defense 10 and Zura line 6. It's enough to get the win, Derek. It's what you needed. Congratulations. We picked you in this game. So, like that, hey, I seem to know what I'm talking about most days, right? So, I try, guys. Derek, keep it going in week 3. Josh, looking to bounce back, and I think, like I said, you did the right thing. That team, you had the points that are there now that you have reacquired the handcuff for, or acquired the handcuff for CMC. David Montgomery's a solid play. Jared Goff will have better days. Things will get better, hopefully starting in week 3. Game 5 had our sophomore matchup, or at least one of them, and that was Aaron Felch taking on Jack Little Raven, and it was a blowout, not even close, near 40 points in favor of Jack Little Raven, and it sucks because Jalen Hurts played fantastic. He does have the 1 interception. Not a lot on the passing yards. It was a tough game. Atlanta absolutely came to play. How they win that game, ridiculous. But, 23 points, you're happy. Okay? Kyron Williams, 15 points. Love that. Joe Mixon, we talk about it. Here comes more injuries. Now, I'm reading that it looks like he might play. I guess there's a chance that he will not. Obviously, when you have any injury, that's the case. But at least when it comes to this game, only got you 8 points before he left. I don't know if it would have made that much of a difference in this game. The biggest panic, if you will, for your team is Michael Pittman. And that is, we talked about it with Anthony Richardson. 240 yards. I think that's going to be about it, and that is not good. And Alec Pierce has come on, and Anthony Richardson is just running all over the place. So I am not happy, and I am concerned about Michael Pittman, and I don't know if and you probably can't, you probably cannot bench him. But, man, am I thinking about it, and I'm looking maybe to find some waiver pickups that if I have to bench him, I can get a boom play out of somebody, because it is alarm bells. That is for sure. Alarm bells are going off. Calvin Ridley, there we go. That's what you needed. And we're missing 77 yards, 2 offensive touchdowns, 24 points. You love to see it. Juwan Johnson gets nothing. And Jalen Reed, we talked about it. Jordan Love, I think, first of all, I think that game in week 1 just scripted to Reed, but he even gets banged up. But then on top of that, Malik Wilson is going to be a very conservative game script with him. And so, there you go. Minnesota has a pretty good day, 13 points, and Gay, the kicker, 3 points, 99 points, just not enough, man, especially when Jack Good Lord, 136 points. Kirk Cousins gets 17. Okay, great. Travis Etienne falls into the end zone, gets 14. Zamir White, you're benching him. Okay, and I get it. Maybe you don't have a choice. Maybe look to trade, but you can't start Zamir White, man. You cannot start. I don't think. I mean, last week I would have told you not to even start Devonta Adams. However, you obviously can start Devonta Adams and Brock Bowers. That is it. You cannot start Zamir White. You cannot start Alexander Madison. It's just no. I thought Madison had something there, but no. Jamar Chase, crazy weird game. And only 7 points in that game. Just game script didn't happen for him. DK Metcalf just absolutely splits the Patriots defense, and wide open, huge touchdown, and 28 points, huge day. And then we talk about it. I mean, what a last minute, didn't even get drafted. I'm just going to, no Evan Ingram. I need to pick somebody up. I'll pick up Hunter Henry, and he'll score 18.9 points. Holy moly. What did we talk about? It takes one play with Rashid Shaheed, and he's off to the house. It happened. 20 points, total of 96 yards and a touchdown. Seattle's defense 6, McPherson the kicker 15. I mean, yeah, shellacking. Congratulations, Jack. You proved the commissioner wrong. I had Aaron in this game, and not even close. So Mr. Felch looking to bounce back in week 3. Jack looking to keep it going in week 3. Game 6 of week 2 featured co-commissioner Aaron Grogg taking on that which shall not be named, he that is forever unclean, Mr. Stinky. Evan Coles, and another blowout. This one, not necessarily because of injury. Got a little bit Justin Jefferson banged up, okay? But he got 23 points, so it's not like it was a bad day, or the injury kept anything from happening. It was just a bad day at the office for you, Evan, period. Aaron, the trade pays off in week number 2. Big win. Your 2 players, although one of them obviously being your highest scoring player, the other not even your 4th highest scoring player, but all together scoring well over 50 points. So the 2 of them together, 2 players scoring that of 5 players. You're going to win probably most days when that happens. So we'll start with that with Joe Burrow. 17 points is a standard day, not above average, not below average, just a good day. So you like that more than Jared Goff, that's for sure. What really is here, Rashad White gets banged up out of the game, 3 points. That would have really made things interesting here. And then Garrett Wilson, we talked about it. I mean, the New York Jets do not look good offensively. And I'm worried about Aaron Rodgers. I'm worried about Garrett Wilson. There's not anybody else receiving wise I want, and the only person I really, really want is Breece Hall. Garrett Wilson, 10 points. Chris Godwin, we talked about it. He was gonna have a great day. He did. 24 points. Sam Laporta. We talk about it. It's week 2. It's not much better than week 1. I'm not panicking on Sam Laporta. It's just couple offenses looking a little wonky. Detroit looks a little wonky. Kansas City looks a little wonky. Indianapolis looks a little wonky. Dallas looks a little wonky. So we've got some got to set into some normalcy. We've got to get into football shape. We got to shrug off the bruises from getting back into getting hit. That's just kind of what happens. Usually week 3, week 4, that starts to smooth out. And by week 5, week 7, you should know what you're dealing with. Nico Collins, huge day, 27 points. Cleveland, the defense, 9. Young Hoku, 10. It's 149 points. Second highest scoring team this week, right behind the rookie Jonathan Andrews with his 160. And Evan, no surprise, you suck. How about that? Forever unclean. The guy who proved he doesn't know how to play fantasy football lost the game. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Patrick Mahomes, bad day at the office, 12 points, 2 interceptions. Yeah, not what you drafted him and spent the draft capital to do. Josh Jacobs, fumbles the ball, could have had a couple more points here. 13, though, hits the double digits. Najee Harris, 8 points. Denver's defense. It's the only thing that's good about us is our defense. We always have good defense in Denver. 9 times out of 10, always have a good defense. Justin Jefferson, we talked about it, got 23 points before getting a little banged up there. Brandon Ayuk, that was a crazy game. How is Minnesota? Talk about a team that I said it. Minnesota's be horrible. I thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. Their defense is good, but what was going to happen with that offense? And not that it's amazing, but it's winning. And they stifle Brandon Ayuk and the San Francisco team. Isaiah Likely comes back. I love all these people that burnt their draft picks and their fab on Isaiah Likely. And why? It's a tight end. What in the world? What game? Truly, all y'all spending your higher draft picks on tight ends and your any picks, waiver picks, fab picks on tight ends. Why are you doing it? It's a tight end. They're just not worth it. Look at the scores, look at the averages. It's like even like McBride last year. Why would you waste the pick? It just happened to work out. Oh, man, woof. Jameson Williams, great play, love it, 14 points, 79 yards, 5 receptions, great. Dallas's defense goes negative. There's no way you knew that was going to happen. Game script, New Orleans seems for real. What can we say, Evan? Justin Tucker, great day, 12 points. He does miss a field goal, unfortunately. Maybe that one there, if it was a 40-yarder or plus, you would have had 100. So, again, 96 is not going to usually get the win. You want to hit the 110. Wouldn't have mattered because co-commissioner gets his win and looking to keep it going in week number 3. Evan, tough day at the office, my man. Things just didn't pan out. Get back on track in week 3, okay? Our game of the week featured 2 sophomores, Chandler Taylor, brother-in-law of the commissioner, taking on Brock Hudgens, and this game, not ever close. Chandler, you had it in hand the whole time, and this is, another example. I'm telling you guys, this is what you got to shoot for. Got to get this 110, and there it is. There's your win, and again, this game not close. Brock not scoring into even the 90s, but I'm telling you, if you can score 110 points, I'm not trying to nail anything home. I'm just, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it in the plums. That's what you got to do. If you want to 9 times out of 10 win your game, score that 110. We talked about Brock Purdy. Actually had a pretty good day. 319 yards. So we're over 300 yards. Touchdown. Had the interception. It was a bad day. Probably should have had another touchdown, and they shouldn't have even really lost this game, but it is what it is. Bijan Robinson, unfortunately, doesn't find the end zone. Weird game. Nothing even really happened until the fourth quarter, and then Atlanta was able to come and win this game, and he does. Bijan would have gone over 20 points, and Philadelphia would have won this game. Has a walk-in reception touchdown, and he drops the ball. He drops the ball and within seconds hands the game over to Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons, who drive the entire length of the field and score a winning touchdown. But yeah, Bijan looks great, 16 points. DeAndre Swift, 8 points. Chris Olave, Zay Flowers, your wide receivers do exactly what they need to do. This young talent, this is what you want to see, double-digit points. Now, Chris Olave, there wasn't a need for him with Alvin Kamara running all over Dallas. There wasn't a need for him to go deep, and then Rashid Shaheed got the deep touchdown. Game was over. So you're happy with your double digits. 4 receptions for 80 is fantastic. You're missing a touchdown, and it's just the game script. So you're not worried. Zay Flowers, perfect. Mark Andrews, boom. I mean, now, look, I'm happy with 9 points. Anytime my tight end, and this is from my perspective on tight ends, anytime my tight end scores more than 5 points, I'm a happy man. Okay? So the fact that Mark Andrews damn near gets you double that, I'm a happy man. You get a win here. You're a happy man. Think of where you spent the draft capital, draft Mark Andrews. Think of where you could have put that into an RB2. You could have put that into a better flex play because you're freaking starting 2 tight ends, dumbass. Don't ever, if you don't want to be made fun of, I don't care if you won this game. I do not give a flying rat's ass, okay? In my league, okay, everyone knows you don't start 2 tight ends. If you would like to know why, go back 3 years and talk to Derek Ash, who has Travis Kelce and George Kittle and gets knocked out of the first round of the playoffs by yours truly. Go back last year to Jack Little Raven, who has Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce and gets knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. I'm telling you, you may be able to get away with a win in the season. You may somehow make it to the playoffs. I told you to start Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler gets double-digit points. He should have been in your flex play. Listen to your fucking brother, Chandler, and don't ever start 2 tight ends in this league again. If you don't want to be made fun of by me ridiculously, even if you win a game, don't start 2 tight ends. Never, ever start 2 tight ends. You shouldn't even have drafted into 2 topper. Not that Dallas Goedert is a top tier tight end. He's just a mid-level tight end, but I need a mid-level tight end, and I need a backup streaming tight end. That's what I need. And that's just because we're in a deep league. If we were in a 12 or a 10-man league, I don't even need but 1 tight end on the damn team. I'll stream tight ends. They're tight ends, guys. There are leagues who don't even play with them because they're so useless. Don't start 2 tight ends. Don't start 2 tight ends. Don't start 2 tight ends. Okay. Pittsburgh, the defense gets 12 points. Harrison Butker, 10 points. 111. Congratulations, Chandler. Great win. 111 points. It's what you needed. Brock, unfortunately, not the case. And you got some great production, got some no production over here. Let's start with Tua, who's, this is why we don't draft 4 players from the same team. Okay. And don't get me wrong, I have a Miami Dolphins player as well, but you see the difference in our scores, and you see that it only affected 1 of my positions, not 3 of them. Now, I say 3. Obviously, you did not start Mostert. He's hurt, but that's the point. So you have Mostert. You can't start him. Pays off because A-Chain gets all the work, but then Tua goes out. He's on IR now. You see what happens with Waddle and Hill. They suffer, you suffer, and now you're down 50% of your Dolphins players, and you're down 0-2. This is why you do not draft 4 players from this 4 starting players from the 4 period players, whatever. You don't draft that heavy into the same team. It just very, very, very rarely doesn't work out, and you're seeing why, sir. So what do we cover? We covered all that. Jaylen Warren, 8 points. It's not great. Mike Evans, not happening as, It was, oh my gosh, why can't I ever? Chris Godwin, my lord. Chris Godwin show, trade me pride. Great. I mean, great. And look where you drafted him. I mean, great value. Love it. Love it. Just unfortunately didn't translate into a win for you. Jordan or Josh Palmer. Oh my God, cannot talk. Josh Palmer here. Yeah, it was the Quentin Johnston show. 22 points, and he's sitting on somebody's bench. And you all know who that somebody is. Yeah. Didn't even need him. Philadelphia, the defense zeroes out, and Bates, the kicker, 10. It was a bad day. Bad day, Brock. Better days to come. Got to heal up, and I think you're definitely looking at trading some of them Dolphins. So you did not disappoint, Chandler. You proved the commissioner right. I had you in this game. Congratulations. And, we talked about the 0-2, Brock. We'll just let's throw up the standings. That takes care of all of our week 2 matchups. And as you can see, our 4 undefeated teams for the 2024 season: Jonathan Andrews, Austin Allen, Brendan Scala, and Derek Ash. Man, what did I tell you guys? Do not ever underestimate Derek Ash. He's a quality guy. And then we got six people all in the middle, sitting 1-1. Aaron Grogg, Aaron Phelps, Jordan Payne, Jack Littleraven, Evan Coles, and Chandler Taylor. And then 4 0-2 teams, and dare I say it, your commissioner is among them. Myself, Brock Hudgens, Forrest Dozier, and Joshua Johnson. The 2 Johnsons. Josh, we gotta pick the game up, son. We gotta make the family look good. We're looking mighty awful and dishonoring the fam over here. We gotta do better. So there we go, guys. It's early. We got plenty of time. 2 games is nothing. I can win 2 games with my eyes closed. Being here with you guys is fantastic. I live for this time of the year. I love each and every one of you. I'm fantastic to be here and here with you, and I'm enjoying it. So I hope you feel the same way, that this is an escape from the reality, and you're having fun, and it's enjoyable. And I don't care, man. I'm telling you, I've said it before. I've asked, and this is just how I feel. Maybe you feel differently, but if you told me that I would never win a championship, as long as this is a league, as long as Fantasy League of Ordinary Gentlemen is a league, I would never win a championship in my life. Would I still come back and play every year? And I would, because I've got the best fantasy league that ever was or will be. Come and join your commissioner tomorrow for a week 3 review. Get the fuck off my lawn, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.